Dear students, in this module we will be talking about one-tailed and two-tailed tests. While we are doing hypothesis testing, we would have to see that whether our pair of hypotheses is one-tailed or it is two-tailed. By one-tailed, what do we mean? Basically, if you just look into these figures, the figure on your left, that is known as a one-tail test. Now, why this is called a one-tail test? The reason that the entire rejection region lies on either side, on the left side or onto the right hand side. So these shaded areas are usually known as the rejection region, whereas the unshaded one, they are known as the acceptance region. Now, dear students, as you can see that on left hand side, P is being taken as 0.05. Now, what is this P? This is basically the level of significance. We also name it as type 1 error, which is defined as the probability of rejecting H0 when H0 is true. Now, why it is being taken as 5%? It may be taken as 1%, 2%, 3%, but usually it is the practice, or you can call it as rule of thumb, that alpha is taken as 5%. Whereas if you just look into this probability, this is the probability of acceptance, that is 95%. As we know that sum of the probabilities is always equal to 1. So if 5% is the probability of rejection, then the 0.95% would be the probability for accepting of the hypothesis. Now, contrary to that, students, we just look into the other figure that is named as two-tailed test. Here you can observe that the probability of rejection is divided onto two sides. Half of the probability on left side, whereas the other half is onto the right hand side. अब देखिए स्टूडेंट्स, यहाँ पे उसने जो लेवल ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंस है, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ रिजेक्शन जो है वो 10% है. तो 5% आपने लेफ्ट पे ली है और 5% आप लेंगे राइट साइड पे. अब अगर आपका हाइपोथेसिस इस शेडेड रीजन में ऑन लेफ्ट या राइट साइड के शेडेड रीजन में लाई करेगी तो आप उसको रिजेक्ट करेंगे. Whereas in the center part, that is the 90% chances that you will accept your null hypothesis. So one-tailed tests are directional, whereas the two-tailed tests are non-directional tests. Actually, the testing hypothesis being one-tailed or two-tailed, that depends on the rejection region. अगर आपका रिजेक्शन रीजन एक साइड पे लाई कर रहा है, इधर ऑन राइट और लेफ्ट, तो आपका टेस्ट कहलाएगा वन टेल. बट इफ द रिजेक्शन प्रोबेबिलिटी इज डिवाइडेड ऑन बोथ ऑफ द साइड्स, सो इट विल बी नोन एज टू टेल टेस्ट. सो स्टूडेंट्स, हाउ वुड यू नो व्हेन यू आर गिवन विद द स्टेटमेंट कि वो आपका वन टेल टेस्ट है या टू टेल टेस्ट है? देखिए, अगर आपके पास ग्रेटर देन साइन आता है आपके ऑल्टरनेटिव हाइपोथेसिस में, ईदर और less than sign, or there is that not equal sign appear in your data, in your alternative hypothesis, तो आप उसको कहेंगे one sided test और the one tail test. और अगर आपके पास less और greater हैं तो आपके पास वो होगा वन टेल टेस्ट, लेकिन अगर आप नॉट इक्वल साइन को कंसिडर करेंगे तो आपका होगा टू टेल टेस्ट. यहाँ मैं एक और चीज़ आपको एक्सप्लेन करती जाऊँ. वाइल वी वुड बी टेस्टिंग द हाइपोथेसिस, वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ द p value. Now, what is the p value? P value is the most minimal value of the level of significance or of the rejection region. It is actually the probability of the rejection region. Now, students, if you just look into various pair of hypotheses, in the first pair of hypotheses, H0 mu1 is equal to mu2, whereas the alternative hypothesis contains that not equal to sign that we were talking about. So ये जो pair of hypothesis है आपका, इसको हम कहेंगे टू टेल टेस्ट. क्यों? क्योंकि देखिए ये नॉन डायरेक्शनल है. नॉट इक्वल साइन हमें कोई डायरेक्शन गाइड नहीं कर रहा. अब अगर हम इन दो टेस्ट पेयर ऑफ हाइपोथेसिस की एग्जांपल लें, here you can see that the alternative hypothesis contains the greater than sign. So direction is being given to us कि आपकी जो entire level of significance या probability of rejection है, that is on right hand side. Similarly, अगर हम लास्ट पेयर ऑफ हाइपोथेसिस की बात करें तो यहाँ पे भी वी आर गिवन विद लेस देन साइन अंडर H1. सो ये भी हमें डायरेक्शन दे रहा है कि आपकी प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ रिजेक्शन लेफ्ट साइड पे है. So I hope a hypothesis of the form greater than sign or less than sign are called as simple hypothesis, whereas the hypothesis of not equal to type form, which is this one, they are referred to as the composite hypothesis. So students, in this module, we have learned that what is the difference between the one-tailed and two-tailed test and how we are going to distinguish between the simple and the composite hypothesis.